this is the third part of the video. We're going to break this into two sections for you. We're going to show how to put it on the car and get the readings, because this is straightforward. Then in the second half of the video, which will break into two separate parts, I will show you how to do a standard wheel alignment with these laser gauges. And so yeah, two parts. Show you how to get it, show you how to put it on so you can get the actual readings from it, so you know where you're starting from. And the second part, I'll show you how to do a standard long version and the short version of the wheel alignment. So again, we'll probably break the second into two as well. But let's get on with this. So come on, this is how you get the readings. I've already put it on. We've come from over there onto here. So we've got the rim buttons touching the rim. So we've got 3 rim buttons on these. We have the top one here, which is for camber. And we have these 2 here, which are for toe. This is more a toe machine than a camber machine, but you can measure camber with it. We'll come back to that when we're actually doing the checks. But this is what you do. So from your bare wheel, we're on, and this is preset, but you'd use this to lengthen it and shorten it. If you've got this in your hand, you know what I'm talking about. So you get your rim buttons on, make sure they're connected properly, make sure they're touching. We straighten it up so that the spirit level is showing that it's straight. If it's not straight, you won't get the right readings. It will give you different readings. So again, make sure we're touching. That's fine. That's fine. We're straight. We'll turn it on. We have lasers. We have lasers. And we need to see where we're at the rear. These is the opposite. So what we've got, so that front one is the top half of the wheel. And this one is the top third of the wheel. Again, make sure that your spirit level is straight. If you don't have a spirit level, if yours is one of the ones without the spirit level, what you do is you look at the laser and you straighten the rear to that. So don't worry what that is. Straighten it to the laser. And so we have 4 on the rear here. The other gauge on the other side that's on is reflecting back to -1. And then we do the same on the other side. I've left the turn plates here because you get them in the pack. We're using a set of 25 centimeter tables and turn plates, bearing turn plates. These tables here, we do 3 sizes. These tables here are for jacks. So you could jack the car up and put these on. So these are really for mobile mechanics. We've got wheels on because we've got to move it around. When you buy them, they come with adjustable big M8 bolt. So you can adjust them to get them straight. So onto the other side, come with me. And we do the same again. So we're into the bottom third of the wheel. Make sure it's straight. Make sure it's hung on. Make sure that is in the middle. I'll show you once again. Off. On. Make sure your rim buttons are touching. Nice contact. We're after nice contact. There, we've got it. We want that straight. On. So front laser, rear laser. Same again with the rear flags. We want them in the top third. These a bit lower to catch the beam, and we straighten it. And it's the same with the laser. So we straighten that, or you keep that straight on that, or straighten that to the laser so it gives you the right reading. The car's out, we've de-set it, which we do every time. So we can do the wheel alignment on it. It's quite a way out, to be honest with you. So that is how you get the readings. It's very simple. Hang-on design, gravity fed, laser aligner across the front with the toe to the back with the tracking. Make sure everything's straight and it'll give you the right readings. That is how you set it up initially, how you set it up. We'll move to the second part of the video now, where I will show you how to do a standard wheel alignment. Caster swings. Caster swings are funny things. So let's undo all the stuff that we've got. Steering wheel leveling tool. Clamp. What we need to do with this will ensure that you can do the wheel alignment without the car coming back going, oh, I've got different readings, it's doing this, and you put it on and it's a different reading to what you did first time around. So what to do, again, you do this on every car, whether a fixed, unadjustable rear axle or an adjustable rear axle. Any laser gauge, truck, car, boat, seagull, you do this procedure if you've got laser gauges on it. So, quick caster swing, lock to lock. No need to do it quite slowly. No need to break it. Again, to this side and back. So back to straight. So we pretty much know what's straight. So do we have the same readings once I put all the gauges back on properly, because it's pulled it about a bit? For the magic of TV, yes, we've come back to where we set off. So we can carry on. If we didn't have, we set off with 3. If we say we're on 5, 6, minus anything within a couple of a degree and a half, stuff like that, then basically you can't do it. You've got to find out what's worn on the car, ball joint, bottom arm bushes, something like that. Something not right, that if you set it now, when it goes out, it's going to be out straight away. So short story, if it's not where you set off, when you first set off, when you come back to, find out what's wrong, come back. For us, it's right. We're where we were, so we can set off again. So let's get the steering wheel clamp back down and we'll get on with setting it. So you got to make sure that the gauges are on bottom third of the wheel, top third of the wheel, all spirit levels matched and stuff like that. So you've done that on the ground now. So you're basically ready to get your readings. You're ready to set the gauges up so that you know that they're true and you're getting the proper reading. So once you've done all the adjustments on there, we move to the car steering wheel. So what we've got to do, we have to move the steering wheel straight. Because if it's not straight, you're not going to get a true reading. So if you come and have a look in here, what we've got on here, we have our steering wheel leveling tool. So it shows us that the steering wheel's straight to gravity. Obviously, you'll ask your customers, if it's steering wheel's out and stuff like that before you get going, that type of stuff. But now that we've straightened the steering wheel and it looks straight, we will clamp it. So I'll use a premium clamp for now because it's closest. In, under, in. Make sure we're straight again. If you don't have one of these steering wheel leveling tools, if you've not bought the PC aligner, you've only bought the Falcon or the Hawk, I would buy one. I will say that. But if not, just sit in the car and make sure that the steering wheel looks true. So once you've done all that, you're ready to get your readings from the aligner. As I said before, we've got 2 lasers, one across the front and one to the rear. So you've got 4 lasers, 4-wheel laser aligner, that's what they're called. And now, because we've done all that, we should be getting the readings on the front toe. So we've got +1 on that, and we have +1 on that. So this car is towing in. Both wheels are facing each other inward. But we don't have, on this particular, the rear wheels are, the rear flags not matching up with the fronts. So we'll address that in the next part of the video, but this part of the video, that's how you get your readings from it. So if you follow that, I'll just go through it again. I know it's going to make the video longer, but rather than you reversing it. So on, straight, good contact. Bottom third, good contact, straight. Rear flags, top third, straight, facing forward, catching the laser. If you have the ones without the spirit levels on, which some don't come with these spirit levels, make sure you straighten this to the laser. So the laser is straight on your numerals, and that will give you a true reading. And that's basically how you set it up for now. So let's get on to the second part, where we do the wheel alignment. Right, to the money shot, the actual adjusting of the wheel alignment, showing you how you do it on the laser gauges, the SharkEye laser gauges. So again, as I keep saying, I'm sure I'm boring you now. This identifies as a fixed axle car right now. So we open the track rod, open the nut. I'm sure every car opens like this one just did, with a little stubby spanner. And I've changed from, if I look like I'm using some record pipe grips earlier, I was, but now I'm using a spanner. Don't at me, Magic TV. So what we're going to do is, this a bit of a long way around. What we're going to do to start off with every car, we're going to set the toe to 0. And that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for, in an ideal world, we're aiming for 0, 0, equal, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. Doesn't matter on the rear as long as it's equal. And with 0 across the front. That's an ideal world. On a fixed rear axle, on a non-adjustable rear axle, you'll very, very rarely attain that. But there's a way around it. But the long way around to start with is, we set the fronts to 0 and we see where the readings are after that. So we're coming, regardless of what's on the rear, we get the fronts going. So I won't bore you with it. A bit of TV magic. Don't need to. We're on. So the left-hand wheel, the passenger side in the UK, driver's side in the US, is now set to 0. So I have 0, and on the rear, I have 8. So I have 0 on there and 8 on the read in the rear. So I'm going to set that side now and see where we're at. Right. I've done the initial adjustments. What have I done? I've set the toe across the front toe. I've set it to 0, 0. I've set it to parallel. However, that's not that on an adjustable rear axle car. That's fine. But let's see what we've got now with this. So we've got 0, 0 across the front, and on the rear, I have 4 on this side, and on that side, I have 8. We can't do that because what's going to happen if we leave it at that? This car is not in sync. So we go down the road. The steering wheel's probably out. The car's probably going to pull, and there's a minor chance, and it's only minor because it's not majorly out, that it'll do a bit of tyre wear. So what we do, if we want it perfect, and we don't want the car coming back, because that is the goal of this, not having a boomerang customer, not having a car that comes back. You've done my wheel alignment, now it's pulling. You've done my tyre pressures, now the engine seized. You were the last one to touch it. We want to avoid those sort of situations. So what do we do? On a car like this, remember this identifies as a fixed rear axle. This is a Vauxhall combo. For all intents and purposes right now, it's a Vauxhall combo. You can't adjust the rear. So what we need to do, 0, 0 on the front, parallel, is not going to cut the mustard. What we need it equal on the rears. So, I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I first did my first wheel alignment in 1985, probably 1984, and I've been doing it ever since. So I know that we need 6 and 6 on this. 6 and 6 will give me -2 and +2. So within manufacturer's tolerances, when it goes down the road, it'll be parallel. But the tracking is the relationship between the front wheels and the rear wheels. So the interaxle alignment will be correct. And the front wheels will be in manufacturer's tolerance, which is roughly about 3 degrees either way. So you've probably got about, on average car, you've got about 6 degrees tolerance for the wheels. But if we set this to equal on the rear, which I'll do now, then we should be okay moving forward. So I'm going to set this to 6 on the right hand side on the rear wheel. And I'm going to come across, ignore that camera, it's not really there. Wheel to the same as well. We're going to set it to 6 on the rear, and obviously we're after symmetrical. And so if I go the right way, so we've completed the first chapter of how to do wheel alignment with SharkEye wheel alignment gauges. Fixed rear axle, non-adjustable rear. That is how you set it up. Now bear with me and let's move on to the next one, which is a four-wheel alignment with laser gauges on a car that has adjustable rear toe. And so we'll start with that now. How to do the wheel alignment on a car that has adjustable rear axle suspension. So if we're going to adjust the toe on the rear, this is how we do it. If you've just watched the first video that we've just done in this series, which is the wheel alignment on the on a car with on adjustable rear, beam axle, then you'll know where we're at. But I'll just give you a quick recap in case this video is standalone. Where we're at with this car, we've set it to as a car where you couldn't set the rear. So beam axle, flat axle, live axle. So what we've got equal on the rears from the rear lasers, but the fronts are basically +2, -2. Now, on the car with non-adjustable, that's fine. But this, we're now saying that we can adjust the alignment on the rear. So this is how you do it properly. So we've done the alignment. We can't get the car aligned. The rear axle's out. That's where we're at. So let's check it. So what we do, we're going to set up first. So we'll basically take the laser heads and we put them on the rear. We'll set them up the same way, bottom third, good connection, and we go around. So what we're doing is we're reversing the gauges. And here we're at. So what we've done, we've moved the gauges round. so that we can get a reading from the rear axle. And the rear axle on this car is a long way out. My glamorous assistant, Fez, or as we call him, Fezzleton, knows more than me about wheel just wants to be in the shot. That's what it is. This rear axle is out. As you can see, we have 3.5, nearly 4 on the left-hand side. And on this right-hand side, we have 0. On the flags, we have 7, 6.5, and we have 6.5. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the rear wheel alignment on the rear axle to close to 0 as we can get it. Majority of cars, rear wheel alignment is done through an elliptical bolt. So that's what you look for. You've got to look for this bolt here. An elliptical bolt is, and we've got some graphics up there. Elliptical bolt is a non-round bolt that adjusts things as you move it. So what we've got, and on most European cars, most Japanese cars, this is a Japanese car, this is an X5 under the skin. So you adjust these. That's all it is. That simple. Easier than the fronts most of the time. We've undone the bolts. This car's actually set up for racing at the moment, but we're putting the wheel alignment back to neutral. So we adjust and we'll move this one, and what we're after with this rear on this elliptical bolt, we're not going around Cadwell Park this weekend with it, so we're after 0. So passengers right hand wheel 0. We'll go to the other wheel and we will set that one up at 0 as well and see where we're at. We do the same with left hand side. We adjust it. These elliptical bolts don't have much movement with them, 4 degrees at most with them, so you can never be too far out. Some cars have track rod ends at the rear, but you'll cross them. It's the same principle setting. So with this one, again, we're just going to 0. You can see it's moving the car. So we're on 0 with that one. You've got to basically space them out and stuff with it. So you'll find a little bit messing about with these, to be honest with you. So we've done the rear wheel alignment now. You've seen it. So we've got 0, 0, and we've got 5.25, 5.25. That's the correct way of doing a car with adjustable rear axle. Now, I mean, let's be honest here. If your car comes in, you put it on the front, it all lines up, and you adjust it, regardless whether it's adjustable or thing, non-adjustable, and you get 0, 0, equal, it's fine. This way is if it doesn't line up. Now, we knew that this car didn't line up from playing that it was a fixed axle, the fixed non-adjustable axle at the rear. That's what we've done, but we've adjusted the rear now. That's fine. As I said, it was set up for a race. It was set up for Cadwell Park, I think. And now what we're going to do, we're going to move the gauges back to the front and start again. So we've set the rear axle. The reference point for the tracking is now done. So a bit of fiddling, but you'd probably only do it on problem cars. But what we're going to do, we're going to put these back on the front and start again from the front. The rear's set. I'm sat back down in my favourite position, and I'm going to set the front now. So what we're after on this, because it's an adjustable rear, we're after 0, 0, equal, and it should be quite easy on this. So we had 2, 2, plus 2, minus 2, and so now we're looking to bring it back into 0, 0. So 0, bit of movement, bring it back in. So we've got 0, 0, 4.75, and 4.75. Am I not a clever boy? So to recap, we've car with adjustable rear suspension, rear toe. We've set the toe on the rear. So we set it to 0, 0, and we've got 5, 5. We've come back around the front, and in the real world, you charge for that. You know, that would be an adjustment. So you would charge for it. And we've come back around the front, and we've set that to 0, 0, and we've got 4.75, 4.75 on the rear. So again, very easy to do, and yeah, it's finished. So on to the next video. There are two basic ways that you do wheel alignment, the fixed rear axle and the adjustable rear axle. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something from it. If you've not, and you need some specific answers, then DM us through this or DM us through the site. Everything we've done today is available on our shop. I'm sure we've got the infographics telling you what stuff is. But keep tuned and subscribe, and tune in next time, and hopefully we'll have some more information on wheel alignment for you. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure.